Hey everybody, so for today we're going to talk about kindness. We're going to talk about what kindness is, why kindness is important, and how it's seen that in school. And we're also going to read a story about a boy who uses kindness when it comes to making a new friend. So what is kindness? Kindness is defined as a quality of being friendly, generous, and considerate. It's also showing affection, gentleness, warmth, concern, and care. Kindness is also respecting the time and efforts given by the other and show genuine gratitude. Kindness can also be treating peers positively at challenging times. Is kindness important? Kindness is important. It improves the life in school as well as in your community. It brings people together, and doing good for others feels good. Showing kindness to others is just as rewarding as receiving it from someone else. Kindness also improves relationship and connections with other people. Some way kindness is shown in school is that you can hold the door open for the person behind you. You can let a classmate go in front of you in line. You can hold a water fountain for someone else. Give a friend a pencil. Tell someone you are happy to see them. Give your teacher or a principal a compliment. Read a book to a friend or your younger student. Be ready when the teacher starts class and saying hi to someone that you do not know. Other ways you can show kindness is saying hi and smiling to other students and adults in the hallway. Make cards to send to a senior center. Say thank you. Say a thank you letter to a soldier. Compliment your friend's parents. Leave something special in someone else's mailbox or even your mailman. You can draw the slides and swing on the playground after it rains. You can say bless you when someone sneezes or say please and thank you. You can clean up even if you didn't make the mess. You could donate tissues or bring other things for the classroom. And you can also do something for you before your teacher asks you to do it. A story we're going to read that shows kindness is called The Invisible Boy by Trudy Ludwig. And we're going to talk about a boy who is not really, who seems to be invisible in the class, but he seems to be able to work with kindness and he uses kindness as to be able to make a new friend coming in.
The Invisible Boy, written by Trudy Ludwig, illustrated by Patrice Barton. Can you see Brian the Invisible Boy? Even Mrs. Carlotti has trouble noticing him in her classroom. She's too busy dealing with Nathan and Sophie. Nathan has problems with what Mrs. Carlotti calls volume control. He uses his outside voice inside too much. Sophie whines and complains when she doesn't get her way. Nathan and Sophie take up a lot of space. Brian doesn't. When the bell rings for recess, Mika and JT take turns choosing kids for their kickball teams. The best players get picked first, then the best friends of the best players, then the friends of the best friends. Only Brian is left, still waiting and hoping. JT glances in Brian's direction and just as quickly looks away. We've got enough players for each team, he tells the others. Let's play ball. In the cafeteria, Madison and her friends talk about her birthday party. The rope swing over the pool was awesome, says JT. Yeah, so was the water slide, adds Fiona. That was the best pool party ever. I'm so glad you guys had fun, says Madison. Everybody did except Brian. He wasn't invited. At choosing time, while the other kids play board games and read, Brian sits at his table doing what he loves to do best. He draws fire-breathing dragons scaling tall buildings, space aliens locked in intergalactic battles, greedy pirates digging for treasure, and superheroes with the power to make friends wherever they go. On Monday morning, Mrs. Carlotti introduces Justin, a new student, to the class. Brian smiles shyly at him. Some of the other kids sneak looks at Justin, trying to figure out if he's cool enough to be their friend. They haven't quite made up their minds yet. At lunch, Madison and JT watch Justin eat with chopsticks. "What's that?" asks Madison as she points at Justin's food. "It's bulgogi." "Bul what?" "Bulgogi. It's Korean barbecued beef. My grandma made it for me. It's really good. Do you want to try some?" "There's no way I'd eat bulgogi." And the kids laugh. All of them. That is, except Brian. He sits there wondering which is worse, being laughed at or feeling invisible. The next day, when Justin goes to his cubby to put away his backpack, he notices a piece of paper with his name on it. "Justin, I thought the bulgogi looked good. Brian." At morning recess, Brian finds a piece of chalk on the ground and starts drawing away. "You're Brian, right?" "Yeah. Thanks for the note." "Hey, Justin," Emilio calls out from the tetherball court. "You're up next." "Sorry, I gotta go," says Justin. "By the way, that's a really cool drawing," he adds before taking off. Back in class, Mrs. Carlotti asks the kids to team up in twos or threes for a special project. The kids scurry around the room to pair off. Brian heads toward Justin. "I'm already with Justin," says Emilio. "Find someone else." Brian looks at the floor, wishing he could draw a hole right there to swallow him up. "Mrs. Carlotti said we can have up to 3 people in our group. We're only 2. Come on, Emilio, let him work with us." "Okay, I guess." Mrs. Carlotti gives the class directions for the project. Your assignment is to work together to write a story about what you see in that photograph. Use your imagination and have fun. "Whoa, cool," says Emilio. "What kind of people do you think would live in houses like that?" "I don't know, but I bet Brian could draw them to go with our story," says Justin. Brian smiles as he takes out his lucky pen. It's lunchtime again, Brian's least favourite part of the day. Another 20 long minutes of kids talking and laughing with everyone else, but him. "Brian!" he hears someone shout. "Hey, Brian! Over here!" Brian turns and sees Justin waving him over. Emilio nods at Brian as he makes room for him at the table. Maybe, just maybe, Brian's not so invisible after all.
Alright, some takeaway that could be taken from it, right? But the Invisible Boy teaches us that the importance of always being kind, especially the peers that we just met. We see that when he was able to make a friend by just being kind to that friend, and when he was kind to the friend, not only he was kind to the new boy, but to also the Emilio as well. Another takeaway could be taken is that when we are kind, it can lead to connecting with different people. Kindness is also contagious. You see that once Brian the Invisible Boy was being kind to the new kid, we seen that how it was being spread around to the new kid being kind, and not only the new kids being kind, also Emilio, which is a student who was already there, also started being kind as well. Also, being kind can make people feel comfortable as well.